Hi, we'll be starting with lesson 1, your compliance framework. Now, if we understand the common meaning or the basic meaning of compliance it simply means is to follow the laws. So we know that a company secretary is a professional who ensures that all the laws are followed and is really responsible for ensuring that a company has its compliances in place. A company secretary would normally set up systems, procedures, and ensures that there is a proper framework for ensuring that all the compliances are followed. So, compliances with the laws, regulations is an internal part of corporate strategy. The board of directors and the entire top management are responsible to ensure that all the laws are followed. The senior management, which includes the company secretary, ensures that a proper corporate management system is in place. Now, what is a corporate management system? So, a corporate management system is a system by which the company manages its compliances. So, you have your corporate compliance management includes all or involves a full research and analysis as well as investigation and evaluation of what all compliances are there. So as a company secretary, you would do a full investigation, thorough examination on a company that what all compliances are or what all laws are applicable to the company, and you will ensure that everything is followed. So as a company secretary, you are responsible for ensuring the corporate compliance framework is in place. Now, what is a corporate compliance framework? Is it different from compliances? Now, compliance simply means to follow a law. Yes or no? So, compliance means to follow a law. But to follow a law systematically, having systems in place which keeps prompting you like an alarm clock that you need to follow this law, this is the timeline that you need to follow, giving you a proper scorecard whether the compliances are followed or no, is collectively called as a corporate compliance framework. This corporate compliance framework would generally be covering three parts: your compliance chart, your compliance advisory, and your compliance scorecard. Am I clear till here? So, your compliance framework covers three things. First is a compliance chart. Now, what is a compliance chart? First, let me show it to you. So, we are taking a compliance chart for a listed company. Let's say we're going to the NSE and BSE site entirely. Okay. Now, from this itself, I will show you. Now, here if you see, the compliance calendar is put in. So, this is like the compliance chart I'm going to show you. So, let's say here it is written what all quarterly compliances the company has to follow. This is the quarterly compliances. So, they need by the date will be given by each quarter, by the 21st of the end of the quarter, they need to file a statement of the grievances of redressal mechanism. So this is like a compliance chart कि आपको इतने time में ये compliance करना है. If I go to see even half yearly compliance, so you have your half yearly compliance telling by the 30th of the end of the half year you need to file this, you need to do this compliance. Even you have details of your annual compliances. Every year a listed company needs to do this compliances. So can I say this chart already made? If a chart like this is already made, it will help any executor execute the compliances very easily. I will just look at the moment the quarter is over. I will look at the quarterly compliance and I will say I need to comply with all of this. Accordingly, I will have a scorecard made whether I have complied, not complied, or why I couldn't comply. So firstly, having this kind of compliance chart is very helpful. To make this compliance calendar, you need to know all the applicable laws and also see on how you will be able to follow this and try to mitigate non-compliances. So risk mitigation मतलब जो भी risk आ रहा है इसके related, you would try to avoid it by complying with the laws. Once this compliance chart, as I showed you, is made, then you would have a compliance scorecard. A scorecard is like a, your score sheet. It will tell you whether you have complied. It's a tool to analyze the position of the compliance. So let me show you a scorecard also. Okay, this is a scorecard. Okay, where it is going to show you whether how much compliances you have done. So it is showing that the organization has done 85% of the compliances done. So 85% passed and the balance is failed. So here we have for each one a scorecard can be made. Normally companies have certain softwares in place which really helps the company secretaries or any other person to know what all they need to do, and accordingly the scorecard, this kind of a score sheet will be made. Clear? So, and it will also tell you that which is high risk compliance, which is less risk compliance. So accordingly you can allocate your time much better. So it will tell you that this compliance is coming in high risk category. So therefore you will think that पहले ये complete करो, बाकी का low risk category वाला बाद में करेंगे. So it is not just compliance that we are talking about. We are talking about a proper framework, a proper system where you can comply with it continuously. Now tell me one thing, after I put a system in place, you think this system is going to be perpetual, हमेशा के लिए यही यूज होगा कि काफी टाइम पे लॉज चेंज होते रहते हैं. So we require advisory, continuous monitoring of this framework. ये framework अभी अच्छा है कि काफी सब नॉन कंप्लायंसेस हो रहे हैं, हमें इस फ्रेमवर्क को चेंज करने की जरूरत है. डू वी नीड टू चेंज दिस फ्रेमवर्क? सो वी रिक्वायर एडवाइस. So mention the advice on compliances of the applicable laws, effect of non-compliance. So a regular kind of advisory is needed. So as we saw, a framework, a corporate compliance framework will consist of three important components. One is having this chart as I showed you, listed companies के लिए ये chart complete करना है. आपने किया या नहीं वो स्कोर कार्ड बताएगा. एंड रेगुलर बेसिस पे इसको पीरियोडिकली अपडेट करना है. So we require advisory with respect to this, especially if there is non-compliance. Okay, there is a non-compliance, then what you need to do further will be in the advisory part. So maybe they will say how you can rectify it, what is compounding, how you can pay late fees, etc. and get over. This is the entire aspect. So they will also talk about how do you, this chart will also tell you how you can mitigate the risk which are embedded, which are inbuilt into a business process. So businesses में काफी सारे risk होते हैं. This risk, how do you should mitigate, that will also be mentioned. So one of the best is to grade the risk, comply with the high risk category first, and then go to the low risk category first. Now here they are telling that a well-designed framework, a well-designed compliance framework, okay, will help us achieve the following functions across the business organization. Firstly, having a compliance dashboard. A dashboard is not like a something physically that you might be talking about or which you come across in your routine work. It is mostly related to technology. Websites have a dashboard, maybe some kind of online portal has a dashboard. So here they are saying the compliance dashboard will really be entire system based compliances that you need to do, and a single enterprise wide dashboard. So all your compliances. So let's look at a dashboard. Okay, here we are looking at a compliance dashboard. For example, so this is like a compliance dashboard. So you can go through it, you can come to know what is the high risk category, low risk category, medium, etc. You can come to know which all regulatory compliances are there to be followed. So you can keep viewing it. Accordingly, you will come to know that this product has a high risk category. Maybe we are doing some high risk projects, so we can focus on that much more, in a depth. accordingly. So a company can really have their dashboard according to the business needs. Now this dashboard is available for all the users to track and trend and trend compliance events. So this dashboard will help all the users to track the compliance and also find out if this compliance event needs to be done. Okay, all compliance events I told you for half yearly compliance, yearly compliance should be easily viewed interactively, so we can easily keep viewing it. Good software will help us do this, okay, through this compliance dashboard. Now compliance policy and procedures, here they are talking about is a document management system. Now what is a document management system? Here they are saying a company has huge data, huge documents, huge information. A well designed compliance framework can tell us how we can deal with these documents, how to deal with sensitive information of the clients, how to deal with sensitive information of the customers when we have of their bank account details, etc. So a standard operating procedures have been made, should be made on how we should deal with this kind of information. So a well designed framework on how do you deal with these documents, how long should you preserve, where you should preserve, etc. will help us understand which is in line with the laws and policies that have been made by the company. Some documents require to be preserved for 5 years, some documents require to be preserved for 3 years, some require some permanent preservation. So how do you want the compliance to be done with respect to documentation is coming here. You will be able, through this well designed compliance framework, you will be able to access the rules. For example, a system will prompt me that this law needs to be done, so I'll click on it, it will take me into that law or the amended aspect, so it will help me link, and which will take me to those law directly, is much better system. Compliance audit, now they're talking about with compliance is put in place, all your frameworks in place. One of the framework also includes that you should have regular audits on the company whether the compliances are followed or not. So audits, internal audit, secretarial audit, all of that has become a very important aspect and is a very routine aspect also, and have now become a integral part of the core infrastructure. That is, the entire business is very much dependent on regular audits. It also helps in good quality management. Most organizations have internal, operational, plant level, departmental quality initiatives to the industry mandates like Six Sigma. So Six Sigma is basically getting very little product defects. So generally, manufacturing defects can be done. So trying to reduce it to a extreme low level is achieving good quality management. ISO 9000, a well designed compliance management program, incorporates good quality initiatives. So good compliance management would be, ensuring it that times at good times it is done, good products are used, so ensuring quality management. This will depend on the business to business. Now compliance training, regular training to employees will help, will be actually mentioned in the compliance framework, because many a times employees do not know that they are responsible for doing this compliance. So having a regular training sessions, knowledge sessions will help the company as well as the employee to comply with this. Compliance task management. So again, task management can be done pretty well. So the company must create a plan to manage and report the status of all the compliance related activities from a centralized database. Automated updates from the various compliance modules should be provided for up to date status reporting that could be viewed by the board, compliance officer, entity compliance, quality offices, etc. So as I told you, the system itself will keep prompting you that this compliance needs to be done. Now, if we see this entire framework, setting up this framework, it will all start from first knowing, identifying what all laws are there. Okay, पहले पता तो होना चाहिए क्या comply करना चाहिए. So identifying the various compliances. It will end with actually reporting and auditing. So it will start with identifying. It will end with someone checking it and reporting whether it's complied or not complied. Once you have identified what all compliances are done, now this is all haphazard in different laws, different acts. It is better to make a chart in a chart form which gives you the timelines, much more systematic. This will then, once the chart is made, it will also cover the risk aspect. The risk aspect means what? Once a compliance chart is made, this compliance chart will tell you that this is high risk, this is medium risk, this is low risk. So it will help the executor allocate his time properly. So you will identify certain non-compliances, or you will try to incorporate certain mitigation strategies. How will you try to mitigate this kind of risk? Maybe you want to delegate it to a third party expert, etc. And lastly, while doing all of this, we also look at the historical compliance status, which will really help us understand कि कहाँ पे हमारी गलतियां होती है जो हमें outsource करना है. So it starts from identify, then make the chart, look at your past mistakes, your return filing, your internal auditors reports, go back to the past. Then once you go back to the past, you will know exactly what all risk areas are there. Accordingly, you incorporate risk management techniques. Now coming to the first part. So the first part, once you identify the laws, then you would want to make a compliance chart. Now we're talking about a compliance chart. Preparation of a compliance chart. So again, in the start we are done, they are repeating again. There are three important components. One is compliance chart. Then whether you followed with the chart or no is going to be a scorecard. And in between you will have your advisory on every time telling you to update the chart, or whenever there is non-compliances on advisory on how do you mitigate the risk, how do you handle the non-compliance, because that is also a very important part. The compliance chart is a vital part of the framework. Okay, compliance chart is the most important. I showed you how NSC, BSc they put a compliance chart. Like that, you will have a compliance chart for private companies, compliance chart for LLPs, compliance chart for listed companies, everything, quarterly compliance, yearly compliance, half yearly compliance. Okay. Once you prepare that, the compliance chart is prepared by considering the following activities. जब भी तुम एक compliance chart बनाओगे, the first and the most important is what all are the applicable laws. So this is the most important. All the other things are ancillary, uske related. You will also see what all risk aspects are there. You will look about mitigation. How do you manage this kind of high risk? We can have certain kind of rules set up that this is your responsibility. Ownership, that anything goes wrong, it is your responsibility. So that way you can mitigate, you can educate. So training, you can mitigate the risk by educating people, creating awareness. Monitoring, so this chart would be action tracking, whether you have complied or not complied. So if I can just take you through one other aspects where they're saying how much you've complied, how much you've not complied. So overall compliance 85%. So you come to know what is not complied from the policies. Compliance reporting includes incident reporting. So reporting can be of two kinds. Okay, reporting can be of two kinds. One is your reporting with respect to regular reporting, periodical reporting, and second kind of reporting is your incident reporting. For example, any act that has happened which is causing damage to the company. Maybe that there is a fire, or there is a strike, or there is anything in place. So that also should be reported. Now all of this is reported via a MIS system. Via what? management information system. So management information system is basically a system by which the management gets periodical information. तो कंपनीज काफी सब ऐसे बोलते हैं मैनेजर्स को, आप हमें रिपोर्ट बनाते दो कि क्या क्या हो रहा है कंपनी में, ऑल द मटेरियल report should be done. So there are many employees also, they keep sitting and typing what work they have done, what has happened during the week, etc. So the management keeps getting periodical information. Now this entire compliance aspect is the role of a company secretary. Okay, the role of, because company secretaries are actually called as compliance managers for ensuring compliance throughout the organization. Now contents of a compliance chart. Mark this as important. Why? Because this is going to be repeated. Okay, this will be repeated later as well. So it's going to be repeated later as well. I'm just saying, calling it X. You remember when I write X, मतलब ये repeat हुआ है. अब समझो क्या है ये. What is this? Compliance chart. Compliance chart is going to be made. A compliance chart of any company. Now this is important. A compliance chart of any company must contain complete information, complete info about the dashboard. Okay, dashboard is the details, which will provide a detailed compliance procedure. How should you comply? What all requirements are to be done to the compliance executor. To the compliance executor. तो मैं अगर एक कंपनी में जा रहा हूं, so if today you are employed in Tata's, you will actually go to the compliance dashboard and see what all compliances need to be done. So it is that simple. Okay, and this compliance chart will include all of this aspect. Now what all will this include? Remember, this X is going to be repeated. Very basic thing will be covered. All your laws, rules, regulation, industry standard, policies that you need to follow. This is the first thing. Second, it will also cover a concise statement, a short little statement with respect to the internal and external compliance obligation and risk arising from those obligations. समझते हैं. So there will also be a statement with respect to the internal and external compliance obligation. So it will have a statement कि आपकी ये obligation है, internal ये obligation है, and external ये obligation, and the risk arising from that obligation. For example, if the company is saying that there is a annual general meeting held, a AGM has been held, so mine would be a compliance chart. Compliance chart would prompt you that there is a company's internal policy that is made, which you need to follow, and certain external communications you need to make. Now suppose internal policy could be a MIS report should be made and sent to the board of directors of what was the outcome of the AGM. This is coming an obligation from an internal requirement. Company is telling on the company secretary ये आपको करना है. External communication, maybe we also have to communicate to the registrar of company is MGT 15. The report by the chairman telling them about the AGM has to be made. So there is a obligation. Okay, this obligation could be obligations as per internal requirement and obligations to external parties. So here they are saying एक कंसाइज स्टेटमेंट कंप्लायंस चार्ट में ये भी बोलेंगे कि आपके लिए इंटरनल कंप्लायंस है या एक्सटर्नल कंप्लायंस है और रिस्क कितना है उसका. सो इफ यू डोंट रिपोर्ट इट, व्हाट विल बी द कंप्लायंस? वी नो इफ एनुअल स्टेटमेंट्स आर नॉट फाइल्ड फॉर 2 years, then the directors can get disqualified. So that risk aspect arising from those obligations will also be mentioned. So a compliance chart is not only just you need to comply with all of this. Also, if you don't comply, what will happen? Then comes about the risk level. Now, risk level, whether it's in the high category, critical, low, etc. So the compliance chart, you would know that where you need to focus on. That is also equally important to know, because as we know, from your exam point of view, entire module needs to be studied. But in the module also, you would want to know what is of high importance, low importance, what is come in the exam many times. That is also a good strategy. So the chart should contain also those important. The business processes to which the compliance obligations are linked and which they may have an impact. Now, some of the business processes, okay, so business process could be a sales, so there could be certain requirements by law, marketing, legal. Now, this business process or maybe production will have certain compliance obligations linked to the business process. For example, setting up a new plant and machinery could have certain compliance obligations, getting a environmental clearance, okay, which has and what impact it will have. So even that they should tell that this is a event based compliance. ये business process करेंगे तो आपका ये compliance आपको करना पड़ेगा. Specific compliance risk mitigation activities, risk tracking activities, monitoring activities, etc. Now, if it's a very interesting concept about risk mitigation activities. So maybe if you have regular trainings, you will be able to mitigate the risk. If continuously it is already being prompted that non-compliance is done, so you will go ahead and complete. So specific risk mitigation activities can also be done. Tracking can be done. Monitoring can be done of the compliance level, which will in turn help in proper compliance. To and whom and how frequently this finding need to be reported. So compliance chart frequency भी देंगे वो लोग. Then ownership, whose responsibility it is there to comply with all these obligations. So just remember this part is going to be repeated again. That time I'll skip it because it's being told here again. So if I take a short role of a company secretary in creation of compliance chart. What is the role of a company secretary? They will identify the laws, they will identify the risk, they will identify various strategies to mitigation of the risk, like such as training. They will monitor continuously whether it is being followed, not being followed, as compliance, non-compliance, and in the end there is a reporting of the compliances. 85% compliance is done, 100% compliance is done, or this is a non-compliance done. So this is the role of a company secretary in creation of a compliance chart. Now again, they have repeated, identify the laws. Now obviously the laws here you can go as per the heading, internal content, you can write up your own. So you would try to identify the laws. Now tell me one thing, does every single company have the same laws applied to it? Answer is no. It depends on the industry in which this is operating. It depends on the various factors as well. So in India, the corporate compliance is broadly covered in your company law, in your securities law, in your commercial law, in your IPR law, labor law, tax law, pollution laws, etc. You have to identify what are laws applicable to the company, accordingly comply with it. Second is risk assessment. Tell me one thing, if as you know you're doing almost CS, I believe you know quite a lot of things. Is complying with a labor law more important or complying with competition law more important?
Labor law.
Now see, if you see labor laws, maybe अलग-अलग type के laws है. Maybe in the labor law, if I have not maintained the register, do I need to be scared? If in the labor law it is said that you have to maintain a register and I have not maintained a register, you think I should be really worried about, is it a high risk or a low risk? Low risk event, because labor laws have very minor penalties. Whereas if you are not complying with competition law or you have not complied with certain tax laws, can I say the penalty can be very large and huge? So accordingly, you have to identify Assess means value, put a number on the non-compliance aspect and accordingly grade it whether it's a high risk or a low risk category. So for identifying, don't you think you have to do a detailed risk assessment? Don't you think you have to do a detailed risk assessment first? Every risk has to be studied. Every risk has to be studied, has to see what are the consequences, what are the consequences it can bring. And from that, from the detailed risk, I will have to identify which are the high risk areas. So what I will do first I will identify the detailed risk assessment will be done or a high risk assessment is done first. Now obviously तुम्हें कैसे पता चलेगा कौन सा हाई रिस्क? पहले एक डिटेल्ड रिस्क असेसमेंट होगा, उसके अंदर से तुम सेकंड हाई रिस्क को क्लासिफाई करोगे. यस और नो? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So here if you go to see the detailed risk results are required as inputs for high risk assessment. So what are they saying? कि detailed risk assessment का results are required. Their inputs are required for understanding the high risk areas. Clear? So very simple, you can write in your own words. This doesn't have to be exactly, the headings has to be the same, but risk compliance mitigation, we'll try to mitigate the risk. Okay, risk compliance, risk mitigation is a process of developing and implementation of controls, standards, policies, procedures, guidelines, anything that you incorporate so that you can minimize, prevent or set aside the risk. Now tell me, if you do not follow any risk management strategy and there is a non-compliance, क्या क्या हो सकता है तुम्हारे साथ? Can I say बहुत बुरा हो सकता है? Very bad things can happen if you do non-compliance, risk of non-compliance. Very bad things can happen. Like what? Civil action.
Penalties.
Penalty, imprisonment, public embarrassment, business can shut down, attachment of bank accounts, damage reputation, damage, punitive action. All of this can be done if you have not complied with the laws. Here, what I am reading now, headings you can do, internal contents you can frame by yourself. Okay. Next, compliance, monitoring, ownership and allocation. Again, what are we seeing? We are seeing the head points for what? What is the role of a company secretary in creation of compliance chart? So he will first identify the laws, he will identify the risk, he will then try to mitigate the risk, then he will try to set ownerships, he will try to set allocation of ownership or responsibility. For example, I will tell that this compliance has to be done by Mr. A or a company secretary. This responsibility is of the board of directors. So when we set responsibilities, can I believe that that will help follow laws much better?
Yes, sir.
So that's what they're saying, that set up ownership, allocate the responsibilities and also allocate. Let's say mostly the problem comes when it comes to primary responsibility किसकी है and secondary responsibility किसकी है. So normally the manager will have a primary responsibility or a secondary responsibility. Manager has a primary responsibility or secondary responsibility?
Secondary.
Secondary, very good. So a manager has a secondary responsibility. Primary responsibility has to be set onto the employee. That's पहले तुम्हारा काम है ये, और अगर आपने नहीं किया तो आपके मैनेजर को भी पकड़ेंगे हम लोग. So a clear description of the primary and secondary ownership is very important. While the primary owner is primarily responsible for compliance, the secondary owner, who is mostly the supervisor, has to supervise the compliance. So we have to set the responsibilities. We can say that the top level management duties is to approve policies, bring in the real changes, motivate the employees. Legal cell's responsibility is all related to law, ensuring that the systems, policies are checked, reviewed, and followed. Okay, what is the functional head's responsibilities? What is the compliance officer's responsibilities? So we have to set responsibilities on each one. Then comes compliance reporting. Then comes the compliance reporting. Now this is also repeated somewhere in another chapter altogether. They can ask you what is the process of compliance reporting. Now pay attention to this framework, very simple. Compliances and non-compliances should be communicated. Yes or no? Compliance reporting मतलब क्या? Report the compliance or non-compliance. Yes or no? Yes. And also where there is non-compliance, take corrective action. The process of compliance reporting is as follows. Now pay attention properly. Functional head means each company में departments होते हैं. Departments के head. Production department, sales department, HR department, etc. So firstly, the functional heads. Now we are seeing the process, okay? The functional heads will have the compliance ownership. So it is their ownership, their responsibility that their department has complied with all that is required from them. Once the functional head is like the manager, the head will look into his department. He will then prepare each functional report, will collect information from his department and then prepare a report. Functional head will prepare a report. This report he will send it. In the report he will give an affirmation. Laws are followed or not followed. The whatever is required is done or not done. So the head will set the ownership. They will collect the information, prepare a report. In the report they will give an affirmation कि follow हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है. Then they will forward this compliance report to the company secretary or the managing director. This company secretary or managing director will further concise it and then present it to the board of directors. Now all of this is important only if you have this kind of a MI system in place. So you should have this kind of a system of reporting in place, then only all of this can be done. So now I want you to, they can ask you a question and it's a past exam question also. What is a process for compliance reporting? So I'm going to see the process for compliance reporting. What is the first point? First point क्या है? Real quick. First is identify the functional heads. Yes or no? So let's say a company can have sales, production, they can have legal, they can have different IT, all the different departments. Identify them. Tell these functional heads to collect information and prepare a report. They will prepare this report and in the report they will have affirmations. Affirmation मतलब क्या? Follow किया है या नहीं किया? Approval or not? Have you followed or not followed? After this affirmation, then you will have a report will be given to the company secretary or the managing director. They will then concise this and then give it to the board of directors. Now, isn't there a flow of information from one head to another department to another person to another person? Yes or no? So this is only possible if company has a MIS system in place. So all of this is dependent on having a proper system, management information system in place. Only then all of this can happen. Clear till here? Then comes reporting can be of two kinds of reporting. One is your clinical reporting. Clinical means regular, quarterly, half yearly reporting of compliance, non-compliance is a clinical reporting. Incident reporting मतलब कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया. Incident reporting means any act which has affected the company's integrity. Maybe the directors have been caught in fraud. or maybe the company's reputation. Product was caught that it had a certain kind of damaging, like how Maggie had anything. Skoda airbags were not opening. Okay, so all of those, if there is any kind of thing, then how do you deal with this incident? A report has to be given. And periodical compliance and MIS should be in place. So a proper periodically information should be given to the management. So a system should be in place which provides regular information to the management. This collectively is called as MIS system. Now again, they're saying compliance risk review and updation. Compliance risk. So we are talking about certain risk of compliance, not compliance. We have to keep reviewing it and update it on a regular basis. Laws are static or they keep changing on regular basis. Laws are static or they keep changing according to you. So laws keep changing. So you need to keep reviewing them and updating your system accordingly. So here, a compliance risk monitoring makes it possible for the businesses to test if the mitigation activities are working properly. So if you compliance risk monitoring makes it possible for the business to test if the risk mitigation strategies are working properly. Okay, or if it requires to be changed or reviewed. Now, it has to be updated annually. I would say, since the laws are changing so much, very much earlier than annually, but and annually it has to be done, and more frequently if required. Compliance risk monitoring plan must include. So this plan of monitoring must include all the critical risk, the mitigation activities, key mitigation, routine business activities kya kya hai. So this plan should include everything actually. What are the compliances with laws? What is the embedding framework? How do you implement it? How do you inbuilt it into the overall structure of the company? Obligations which have been delegated to certain compliance, certain departments, etc., called as compliance functions. Plan for monitoring must include. Now mark this as important and write your X as well. QX क्योंकि ये repeat हुआ है. Monitoring plan must have a concise statement. You must identify the business process. Specific risk mitigation activity should be done. Then first line, second line, third line. First line में क्या बोल रहे हैं? That the monitoring plan must include tracking of the laws, keep checking. Then monitoring the performance, monitor the activities, and keep reporting the assurances by internal auditor whether you followed or not followed. Track, then monitor the activities and report through audits. Now again, the following methodologies may be adopted for assessing the compliance mechanism of the company. One is the following methodologies may be adopted for assessing the or finding out the compliance mechanism of the company. कैसे पता चलेगा? Can you tell me? What if I want to know what is the company's compliance mechanism? हर कंपनी में compliance mechanism होगा. मुझे जानना है. I want to know what is the compliance mechanism. How can I come to know? I can come to know from the employees themselves by interviews, surveys, etc. I can come to know through the company's programs, softwares. I can come to know through their policies, procedures. I can come to know through the various communications done. And this is a ongoing self-assessment, monitoring and reporting activity. So checking up your compliance mechanism is very important. You ask your employees, you check your systems, you check your programs, you check your softwares, you check the policies, procedures, you keep training on them on regular basis, and on ongoing basis you keep reporting of their progress. Now a matrix has been made, not important but very just to explain how does it work. So a matrix is made which divides the activities into high risk area, low risk, very high risk, and etc. So the consequences and likelihood that it might affect the company. So let's say a company getting hit with an asteroid is a very low risk activity, but a company not complying with certain regular monthly filings, GSTR 1, etc. So it's very high, so you need to comply that, since the likelihood is very frequent. You will also cover them which is probable, non-probable, etc. So matrix can be made so that you can understand things much better and focus your time on the high probable and high damaging aspects as well, activities. So regular training is important in compliance framework. कोई भी compliance करना है, the most important is awareness that you had to comply. Regular training, and this will help people understand their roles better, help understand the company's framework, understand the critical roles, understand what are their obligations, critical risk obligations. They will come to know what are their reporting requirements, and they will come to know the consequences of the non following with the uh, policies, procedures, etc. So very important. The plan for training and education program must include concise statement with respect to their obligations, with respect to the business processes which require certain aspects, continuous a brief description of the training, what are you going to be trained on, target audience, who you're, whether you're giving it for your customers, for your employees, for the top level juniors, etc., and the frequency of the training. All of this the plan should cover, these education programs. Then comes compliance audit. Now we know audit एक ending के part B में audit के बारे में everything is given. Now audit is a post-mortem analysis. Is a post-mortem analysis means after everything is done, then an audit will be done into your activities, whether you have complied or not complied. Audit actually means a assessment or a verification or a examination or a scrutiny, kaika scrutiny of basically your compliances. What all compliances, whether you've done or you're not done. Here the objective of the audit is to detect and prevent frauds and errors. Frauds and errors. Clear till here? So the compliance audit may be planned, performed, and reported separately to the board, senior management, and regulator. So compliance audit should be done on a regular basis. Compliance audit is actually done by an independent assessment. Generally, we have secretarial audits, internal audits. All the audit part is going to be in part B. Now again, very important part which you can add in almost anything. This part should have been in the start of the chapter. This should be in the start of chapter. क्या है ये? Benefits of compliance management, significance of compliance corporate management. So if you do that, what will happen? Again, you will same thing, have goodwill, credibility, brand image, cost saving, safety valve against non-compliance. No penalties. You will help a good corporate governance, good corporate citizen. Very important part. You can add it up. Next is past exam question, and the most important too. So important, or you can say the most important. Okay, it is a past examination question as well. What do you mean by apparent compliance, adequate compliance, and absolute compliance? Three kinds of compliances are there: apparent, adequate, and absolute. पहले देखते हैं हम लोग. And you have to tell me which one should a company follow? Apparent compliance is a disguised form of non-compliance. Where I try, it is worse than non-compliance. It is basically apparent means it is it looks that you're complying, but in reality, you are not actually complying. So let's say you require minimum quorum to be present physically. You just take the signatures of the people. You take a phone call, they'll say हाँ लिख दो जो लिखना है. तो तुमने compliance तो कर लिया, but it is in a wrong way. It is actually nobody has really come. So it's a disguised form of non-compliance. In reality, it is non-compliance, but in the books it is looking as if there is a compliance. Etiquette compliance is bare minimum. Okay, compliance in letters. क्या बोला था that CSR, corporate social responsibility is 2% of average 3 years net profit. Exact amount I will spend, not a single rupee more. So I am complying the laws in letters. जो बोला है बस वही follow करना है. So it is complied in letters without into the true spirit of law. It's like a box ticking. कर दिया खत्म करो. Third is the absolute compliance. In absolute compliance is like companies like Tata's. They don't only follow it in the intent of law, but go beyond that and follow it in true spirit. Here companies try to go beyond the purview of law and try to follow laws in spirit. Even if there are loopholes, they will not use those loopholes, they will follow it as it is. So this kind of companies get much higher valuation, much better employee attraction, and much better consumer loyalty as well. Now coming to secretarial audit. So here they haven't mentioned about secretarial audit, but they're just saying that an audit needs to be done by the company secretary, internal auditors, etc. to check whether the compliance management system is in place or not. So the compliance management system and processes in a company are dependent mainly on the following factors. So nature of the business. We all know different nature, different compliances will be there. Geographical region. So if you go in Jammu and Kashmir or you go on some sensitive area, coastal regions, the laws will change. The size of the company, laws will change. MSME or a listed company will have a different law. Jurisdiction in which it operates, the area in which it operates, whether it operates in a union territory, etc. Whether the company is listed or no, regulatory with respect to the business operation. Software company and a cryptocurrency company, obviously the regulations are different. Nature of the business, etc. So compliances and the system is dependent on all these factors. Role of company secretary in compliance management, mark it as most important. It's a very simple aspect, okay, but it has come in the exam because they are talking about role of company secretary, so we can understand. Here they are saying that compliance management, a good compliance manager adds value into the business. Nowadays, where there are multiplicity of laws and non-compliance can attract huge penalties, company secretaries come in as a good savior to the corporates. They provide advisory services. They are a guide. They are professionals who guide the board of directors, ensure that the best management practices are followed. So what all would you do? They would help become a good corporate citizen. Okay, and then the other part, not very important, just read. Okay, ascertaining the corporate compliance framework, risk profiling of a company, understanding the risk aspect, etc. And that is it. We are done with the chapter.